Hello guys, it is Hartwigga here, and today we are back for episode 4 now of the F1 show. We're going to be reviewing the Tuscany Grand Prix and going over some talking points across the weekend and getting into, we'll do that next week, I reckon, because there's a break now, isn't there? There's a break for the
1 week break.
And then we're going to Sochi. Fantastic race venue. Anyway. I was at Mugello, Ferrari's test track for Ferrari's 1,000th Grand Prix. It didn't really disappoint early on, did it? Did it, George?
No, it was a very hectic race. So we had 2 red flags in one race. And then the previous red flag was obviously last race, but the one before that was in, I believe, was it Azerbaijan 2017?
Yep, and the last time we had 2 red flags in a race, I think, was Brazil 2016, that wet race.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But what really came to my mind in that race was the big safety car crash.
Yeah.
Because it was almost like the rear of the grid had thought the race had resumed. And then some drivers mid-pack just started braking because they could see what the front leaders were doing. So the mid-pack to the front pack were all doing the same thing, whereas the rear end of the pack were just like, "Oh, let's go." Didn't realise they were going to come to slow again, and then they all went crashing into each other and wiped each other out.
Yeah.
So it was quite dangerous, but I guess these things happen, and try not to let it happen again.
Yeah, luckily they were all okay, which was really good to hear. And then there was another red flag early on. Actually, no, that was later on, wasn't it? That was the first red flag. Then the second red flag was for Lance Stroll. I think he had a puncture on the rear through one of the corners in the middle sector.
It was I know the name of the first corner.
That's with F. But it's the high speed uphill kind of corners. He lost it there and took a bit to. I think it caught on fire as well. So
yeah.
So it was a pretty hectic race.
Yeah, because you could see behind because once they got the car off of the circuit and behind the circuit barriers, you could see it was just smoke absolutely everywhere, pouring out the car. And they had to almost rip the bodywork of the car open just to get access to a fire extinguisher in the place they needed it.
Yeah, and obviously that incident right at the start on lap 1 between Gasly, Raikkonen, Verstappen, Grosjean, all that stuff, and I think then Stroll and Sainz had their own incident. It was a pretty hectic start.
Yeah.
Vettel,
and I saw Vettel. And Vettel got collected into Sainz.
Yeah, like nothing much you could do, but
I don't think you can blame anyone. It's just too many cars fighting for the same bit of too many cars fighting for the same bit of tarmac, really. So no one really at fault there. They're all just racing drivers, like-minded.
Yeah.
All wanting to get.
I think we'll review the teams. We'll review this Grand Prix just team by team. It's how we're doing it now, but. We have a Williams. Latifi got unlucky. I think he must took a bit of damage. I think he got damaged, but he's unlucky. And George Russell, obviously, so unlucky. And Sebastian even said he was a poor soul. Very unlucky not to get the result. Obviously only 3 seconds off the point. So he was running in a P9 at one stage. Before the second red flag, so that really cost him the points finish. But Williams weren't that bad here this weekend. They did fairly well considering it's a lot of high speed corners and long straight. They did fairly well.
Yeah. I think Williams did very well this weekend. So I think they had some good pace in qualifying. I reckon George Russell would have easily been able to make Q2. If he didn't make that mistake where he went all over the gravel. Surprisingly, he only lost like about a tenth and a half at max. But yeah, again, the Williams showing great pace. Just unlucky that he didn't get the best of restarts from the second red flag.
Yeah.
So he dropped out of the points and couldn't seem to make his way back up.
Next, Haas. I think Magnussen was involved with the safety car incident, and Grosjean, I think he had damage from that lap 1 incident. I think he had just damage throughout the whole race. So he was very slow, and you could see he was like slower than Kimi Räikkönen, like by a margin. So that damage does make a lot of sense now, because he looked abnormally slow. So I think the Haas wasn't a great car in the circuit, but I mean Grosjean got the most out of it in qualifying. He got into Q2, which I think was a really good effort from Grosjean. It just shows that he still has the raw speed and talent still. I think people really write him off because of he's a bit accident prone for sure, but I think he's got the talent for sure.
Yeah, and also he was so close to being caught up with that safety car crash.
Yeah.
The restart, he was just. I could hear him on the radio. You could hear his anger because he just wanted to get on with it.
Yeah, I know, and obviously it would be really frustrating. But I mean, Haas, they're taking hopefully next year, and hopefully 2022 really they get the regs right. And I mean, it was good 2018 when they're up there fighting as well. They're such a good, well-spirited team, so they really need.
Yeah.
I hope they're up there. It's good for the sport. But next, probably Alfa Romeo. Gio, a bit clumsy under the safety car, wasn't he? I think he was one of the main protagonists.
I think Giovinazzi caught the brunt of the crash and the safety car, and he just seemed to think that it was all underway, just like all the other drivers. But then was first to hit the car, who slowed down.
Yeah.
So obviously quite a scary shunt for Giovinazzi, but thankfully he was okay.
Kimi.
Yeah, that was Giovinazzi's race. Now on to Kimi.
Kimi did well. Finished B on track. Obviously a 5-second penalty for crossing the white lines on the entrance to the pits. Probably in hindsight that was not a great move, but then it was the best move to make. So I mean, it's unfortunate for him, but I mean he still was faster than the Ferraris. When not, when in the same circuit, when they're both in clean air, both on the same tyres, same amount of laps, that Kimi is faster, and it's not good for Ferrari. Not good, but we'll get on to it a bit later.
No, it's not. So I think Kimi it's just great to see Kimi still performing at a really high level.
It is, yeah.
So obviously he got his first points of the season yesterday, so that got him P9, 2 points.
Yeah.
Brings the total of Alfa Romeo's points to 4. And yeah, you can see. I just feel like Kimi's frustrated. He would be frustrated. He doesn't want to fight the back. I mean,
will he race
I think he enjoys the racing. Sorry.
Will he race on next year? Do you reckon?
I think he's gonna get it. I think he's gonna give 1 more year.
1 more year. Look,
one more year.
I could see that. I really could see him, just 1 more year in the sport, and then just to see. I mean, I think he's gonna stay. If he's gonna stay 1 more year, he may as well stay for 2022. See how the regs are.
Yeah, he may as well. Yeah, he may as well stay.
I think it's either going to be retired this year or go on to 2022 and see what the regs are like. But
yeah,
unfortunately, I have a hunch that he might retire. I think.
Yeah, I've got a feeling he's going to retire as well. It'd be sad seeing him, but
40, 41 now. He's been in the sport since
he's 40.
2003.
2001.
2001.
2001 for the Sauber team.
Yeah,
I was the same team now.
But that's a long career. It's been a well documented career. I mean, since he's moved to rallying and then back to F1, and the story of him being the last champion for Ferrari. So it's sad to see him leave, but I just feel like he might.
Yeah, And also, I just feel like he's got other priorities. Like he's got two young children who I'm sure he wants to spend more time with, and with his wife as well. They've probably got things lined up to get on with, other than F1.
Next, probably AlphaTauri. Really were pretty quiet this weekend. Gasly out in Q1. Then retired from the start, so not a weekend. I think it actually did happen to Panis when he won his Grand Prix. The next race he DNF'd as well, so
Yeah.
ironic. But yeah, I mean, not the weekend for Gasly. And Daniil Kvyat did. I think he went underrated. I mean, that whole race, you know, he was just there and he did a solid job.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he.
Should we move on to still? I mean, there's nothing really much to talk about AlphaTauri. Obviously, winning the last race, which is a high point for them. But this weekend, they just seem to be quietly just there.
Yeah.
I think there's a little illusion with AlphaTauri with the TV graphics. This is my bit off topic, but you know, so on the TV graphics, it comes up with the white sort of banner next to AlphaTauri, whereas with Williams, it's the colour that Toro Rosso used to have last year. So it's almost like we think that AlphaTauri is Williams, so we kind of don't really just don't really focus on them because they're the white banner team. I don't know if anyone else has that, but I think that.
No, I get where you're coming from, but
yeah,
AlphaTauri had a pretty quiet weekend considering their last one at Monza, but now, McLaren, you know, they weren't amazing pace wise. They didn't really had the pace.
They were definitely disappointed with the pace they had. This quite disappointing.
I predicted.
And obviously, Carlos Sainz got caught out in the second red flag start, which is unfortunate.
And the lap 1 incident as well, just unlucky.
And the lap 1 incident as well, yeah.
Unlucky. I think he was faster than Lando though over the weekend.
Yeah.
And then Lando was there, always there, but just never quite there. You know, he was never just.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But yeah, I mean, I predicted such a podium. I would have thought that would have done a lot better, but it wasn't that Renault powered engine that did well. I think it was the Renault team that looked on pace. You know, Renault.
The Renault team did look on pace.
We nearly were able to get Cyril to a tattoo parlor, but just couldn't. In the end,
Just couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel did superb, fantastic.
Yeah.
Job. He just looks so at one with that car. It'd be interesting to see how it goes in McLaren next year. If McLaren take the step up, Renault probably have. I want to say that I don't know. I don't know if Renault are faster or McLaren faster, but I'd probably say they're about touch and go at this stage. You know, they're touch and go. You can't really tell just yet, but they're very similar on pace.
Yeah. It was.
What happened to Ocon? He had brake issues, I think he did. Retired under the red flag.
Yeah, I think George Russell made comments under the safety car about Ocon, saying that his tyres are on fire. Probably meant his brakes, but yeah, Ocon obviously had brake issues, which ended his race early.
But yeah, they had basically good pace, and Daniel so close to a podium, P4 once again, just ever consistent.
Yeah.
Racing Point.
Yeah, Racing Point.
It's an old one.
Obviously, they look really quick. They seemed to have a really smooth race until Lance Stroll got that puncher and completely ruined his car.
Yeah, I mean, you say really quick though. I don't think I really agree. I think they were quick, but I mean, they were getting outpaced by Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault.
Yeah.
But it was only just Daniel, so I think they're a faster car than Renault, but Daniel was getting the most out of it. More experienced driver. I mean, Checo hasn't been the same since he got COVID. He's just never.
Yeah.
Stroll's been outperforming him.
Yeah, he has not been the same.
Obviously, you know, not being there for the Aston Martin rebrand, and Sebastian being there now, and he doesn't know where he's going just yet. So that's obviously going to be looming in the back of his mind. But yeah, I mean they did well. I mean considering, but yeah, if Lance kept on the track, would have been a big points haul for them.
Yeah, just unfortunate that his crash. And, he just wasn't able to score the points for the team.
Yeah.
So where did Checo finish? Was it P6?
5, wasn't it? P5.
P5.
Good.
Oh yeah, it was P5.
Lando
Wasn't
only
it?
got 6, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know one team's positions where they did finish is Red Bull. Verstappen, he had an issue, a power unit issue before they went going. Red Bull tried to fix it best they could, and it looked alright, for like 2 seconds before he's just bogged right back down, and obviously retired due to terminal damage. Yeah, I think he would have been retiring anyway because of the power unit issues, so maybe wasted a bit of money in the process. But I mean, unfortunate for Verstappen. He looked like he probably could challenge him at Mercedes. Though when you look at the Mercedes race pace and those, they were very, very quick.
Yeah, just unfortunate. Yeah, that
could have been a podium for him. But they did make up for it though. Alexander Albon, podium finisher in Formula 1. First podium. Yeah, good job. Just all I can say is good job. He kept himself kept clean, had some good pace. Alright, he was actually had pretty good pace compared to Max Verstappen, so
yeah, I was impressed with Albon. Remember, I predicted that Albon would finish.
Yeah, you did.
Near Verstappen last week in the last podcast.
Pace for Verstappen.
Yeah, he seemed to have more of a pace improvement over Verstappen.
Yeah.
So he's definitely caught up to him in that race, but
maybe some parts to equal out the cars.
Possibly, because I reckon they're going to keep the same lineup next year. But again, moving back onto this race for Albon, I think that this race, he seemed to get a good start, but then off the restart for the second red flag, he seemed to drop to like P7, but then had a good fight back all the way up to P3 where he finished and took his maiden podium. So I'm very happy for him.
So you think that secures your spot in the Red Bull side team?
So what do you mean?
Do you think he's on for next year now? He's be signed up?
Yeah. I think he has held his head high. He hasn't been the one who has lost confidence over this. He's kept going, even after he may not got the results he may wanted to get. And I think Red Bull have backed him well. So I think that
got one suggestion for you. All right, I've got one name. I'm gonna. He's back in the market, ever consistent. Could play a good number 2. Not wouldn't be too far away from Verstappen's pace. Sergio Perez.
Sergio Perez.
Does that appeal to Red Bull?
I don't know. I think
pacey. He's been in the midfield for so long. He's never really aged.
Yeah.
He had one shot at McLaren 2013, but that was not a great car and in such a bad situation. So
yeah,
he does deserve a chance at the top team, and maybe this is his chance.
I think maybe Red Bull is his chance to get into a very, very good car.
I think if he doesn't now, we might not see Checo on the grid for next year. No,
that's very sad prospect. Because it's almost like, do Red Bull want to stay within the academy, or do they want to keep Albon? Because I seriously see that Albon is a fantastic driver.
Same.
Who's got what it takes to be
who's better, Albon
what they want
or
him
Perez?
to be. Albon or Perez?
I gotta say Perez. Really.
It's a hard one. It is a hard one. To be honest, I can't see Perez signing for Red Bull. I just don't see it.
It's optimistic for sure, but I mean, you can get rid of Kvyat then. Get rid of Kvyat at AlphaTauri. He's not a Red Bull contracted driver like in the program.
Yeah.
Anymore, they can put Albon down to AlphaTauri, and that's if they then make the AlphaTauri car the same as the Red Bull 2021 car.
Yeah. Then it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah. Or they put Perez in AlphaTauri, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it almost means that it almost then means that the Alpha Tauri is just a sister team to the Red Bull.
Yeah.
And
But, I mean,
yeah,
as a team, if Checo's more of a proven driver, then wouldn't you put him in the Red Bull? Or do you stay loyal?
yeah,
It's the thing. Because if you want to fight for a championship, sometimes, loyalty's gotta... You gotta kind of... If you got someone like Sergio Perez on there, you gotta consider it. There's no way. You just can't.
yeah,
It'd be ludicrous.
it's a really... It's hard to visualise this.
If they do go the
Red Bull
2021
driver program.
same car concepts, then I could definitely see Perez with a Red Bull badge on him. Wouldn't say if it's just Red Bull FTA, just a Red Bull badge on him.
Yeah. Also, you have to think drivers in Formula 2. So we've got
True.
the likes of
Very true.
Yuki Tsunoda, Jan Deruvela, who
Is
I think
Tsunoda ready for F1?
I don't know. He has got fantastic pace, but I just think, is he ready for F1? Almost. He seems to have amazing pace, great racecraft, good on capitalising from other drivers' mistakes, and I think the only thing that he needs to do now is just make sure that he doesn't have any contact with other drivers, because you've seen he has got some penalties before for hitting other drivers, and I think that's just driver maturity. I think it's just that one thing he needs to work on, I think. But yeah, also Jan Deruvela.
Is Tsunoda better than Verstappen? Obviously not. Perez, no. Albon, probably not. Gasly, I wouldn't think so.
Only time will tell.
If they do really want a serious push, Red Bull, maybe they do go Perez in either one of their teams. I think it just makes, looking at it now, it seems unrealistic, but it does make a lot more sense. I think, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got an experienced driver like Checo.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go off the Red Bull subject.
I just wanted to talk about Jan Deruvela, another Red Bull back driver in Formula 2.
Yeah.
I just think he's not had the best of starts of the season. He has been off his teammate a lot, but then recently in the last couple of races, he's been able to out-qualify his teammate. Did he? I think he out-qualified his teammate in Mugello.
Did he?
I think he did.
Followed F2 that closely.
He qualified P6, and I think Yuki Tsunoda qualified P. Was it? I think Yuki Tsunoda didn't have the best of qualifyings, but yeah, I think Jan Deruvela is catching up with teammate Yuki Tsunoda. Maybe he's just getting used to the car. Maybe it's taking him a while to get used to it, and now he's finally starting to improve. But anyway, yeah, that was just a little side point to the Red Bull Driver Academy, and I guess we should move on to.
There's got some youth in there, so we'll see how they handle it. See how they handle it. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think Daniil Kvyat deserves a drive though, so could go to Haas. He could go to Haas Alfa Romeo, but then he got the Ferrari factor, so maybe he does go to Haas, just Haas, because I don't think they have to have Ferrari drivers in their seats, so maybe he could go there. Obviously, ex-Ferrari reserve. Could be there. We could see, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I reckon some driver on the grid will definitely not be on. I reckon 2 drivers on the grid will not be on. I just don't know who they are though.
It's difficult.
But the victors, the convincing victors, Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula 1 team. Maybe for not much longer. Rumours say that Ineos are in to make a bid. $700 million bid to buy Mercedes.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. It's just the rumours I've seen around the place, but that would be very interesting if it did happen. Rename the team and everything. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, they a fantastic race. Valtteri and Lewis, they traded positions a couple of times off the starts. I really did think Valtteri had Lewis. I was hoping he did anyway off the third restart.
I was hoping that as well.
Just to make the race interesting, but never did. And Yeah, they're so dominant. They were such a dominant car. There's not much to say on them. You know, out front, they were just another league. You know, that Formula 0.5.
Yeah, it's almost like Mercedes. They're never in scraps with other drivers because they're always so far in front that there's nothing that the other drivers can do to sort of get them involved in the battle because all of other drivers like they're all vulnerable to crashes a bit more and contact, but the Mercedes they're just in clean air, like they're not gonna have any incidents. They just have a smooth race, and this is what makes them win race after race after race after race.
The race trims are insane.
It is incredible.
There's just not Mercedes. It's perplexing. There's not much to say on them, is there? There's like you can't talk. Oh yeah, Mercedes. Oh yeah. No, they're faultless. The only fault they've had probably in like the last 2 years was legit last race at Monza. That's the only thing I can really comes to mind.
Yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, Germany. I think last year. Oh, that you know you can't expect them to always have a good weekend.
Yeah.
That they are the dominant car, but they're always going to have bad weekends here and there. I think Monza last race was a good example of one, but then Lewis just had the ability to fight back from a long way last into P6 with fastest lap. Was it P6 or P7? I think it was P7. P7 with fastest lap. And Valtteri Bottas just can't seem to match him.
One team though that just aren't on any pace, that just don't have any pace at all, is the team of Ferrari.
Yeah.
Man, another Leclerc P5, what a stonking lap I've seen around the place. Yet you gotta consider. I mean, that yellow flag certainly helped him quite a lot. Get up to that last position. Sebastian struggled and then got knocked out in Q1. If George didn't go off, Sebastian would have been out. Made it into Q2, P14 qualifying. The car doesn't seem quite there. And I don't know if it's just me, but I felt like in the race, Leclerc was faster on the straights by like a tenth a lap. I kept looking like the gap they'd have on the straights, and Leclerc getting like a tenth or two every time. That might just be me. But I found that confusing. Probably just me overlooking, analysing things. But they're 1,000th Grand Prix, knowing now that Science is in next year, and for Sebastian is now has a home at Aston Martin. What a project that could be.
I know, yeah. We should have to sit back and watch what's going to happen, really.
I mean,
I'm looking forward to seeing.
We'll talk about that a bit later, but there's not much to say about their race. It was just poor. You know, they had no pace, outdone by the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, it's sad to see this.
Yeah. That wraps up our teams and our review of the Mugello Grand Prix. Some talking points over the week, though, has definitely been, yes, Sebastian Vettel is replacing Sergio Perez at Racing Point / Aston Martin for next year. The project's going to be massive, you know. Next year it's going to be more of a building phase for them still into 2022 when 2022 is going to have their factory all done. You know, they're getting all this like simulated stuff, all this stuff ready for 2022. It's going to be, it's either going to, it could be a bust, you know, it could just be a midfield team still, but I don't know, it's so promising. And you see people like Toto Wolff investing stakes in the team. It shows there must be something there, because Toto Wolff is a very smart guy. We've seen that. They're like, what are they, Mercedes, going on for 7 more championships in a row?
Yeah, that it must be their goal. And also the goal for Hamilton is over 91 race wins and
very
8 world championships, I should imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to see the future with the Aston Martin project. Obviously, Checo without a drive. We spoke about him earlier on about where he could go. And that's really been all the news. That's been such a big news over the weekend. But now let's get into our... Actually, no, we're not doing that, are we? We're not doing the preview. We're doing that next podcast. We will have that preview, guys, and just a more in-depth touch of all the news. I reckon there'll be quite a bit of news coming out over the week about about you know, other things, driver moves, stuff like that. Because I mean, F3 actually, we'll touch on F3 quickly. Oscar Petraci, the Aussie, doing the Aussies pre-art.
Oscar Piastri, yeah.
Piastri, I can't say his name.
Yeah. Piastri, yeah. I've actually started watching Formula 3 from the start this year. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's such young talent in both F2 and F3. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, we could next week. I reckon we might talk about that a bit more. We're running out of time a bit now. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. That's been the Mugello Tuscany, whatever you want to call it, Grand Prix review. I've talked about some other points about driver moves, who's safe, who's not, how the teams are performing, and we hope you have enjoyed. We're really enjoying making these podcasts for you guys, and
we are.
We hope we can get a bit more support, and really elevate this to another level. But we've got some future plans in store for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we? So, guys, thank you for watching.
Hope you enjoyed.
Make sure you watch the F1 show. It's on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, and YouTube. On this channel, Hartwigga, if you're watching it on the channel. We hope you guys have enjoyed. We will see you in the next episode, episode 5, the Sochi Russian Grand Prix preview. See you then, guys. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.